Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. A very quick one. Alexander Zverev. We've got to talk about this because it cannot go unpunished or untalked about because it was some shocking behavior. And yes, I'm talking about the Mexican Open and Acapulco. A doubles match, nonetheless, as well. Not even a singles match. And let's get straight into it. For those that don't know, Alexander Zverev has been thrown out of the Mexican Open after unsportsmanlike conduct. So he won't be playing any singles matches there either, which obviously is where he would have been looking to win. He actually won there last year, if I'm not mistaken. The reason why he's been thrown out is because he attacked an umpire's chair or the umpire's chair multiple times after they lost in the doubles. So he partnered with Melo, the Brazilian, who a lot of you might be familiar with. So this came about, and I'll kind of give a very brief sequence of events. He argued with the umpire during the decisive tiebreaker as he and Marcelo Melo lost 6-2, 4-6, 10, 6-2. Lloyd Glasspool and Harry Heliovara, who are both, one is Lloyd is from GB and Hari is from Finland. Zverev struck the umpire's chest several times with his racket. The 24-year-old was a defending champion in the singles event, as I mentioned. And the statement from the ATP reads, due to an unsportsmanlike conduct at the conclusion of his doubles match on Tuesday night, Alexander Zverev has been withdrawn from the tournament in Acapulco. His opponent was Polish player Peter Gojwik. I think I might have butchered that name. Apologies if I have. Has been given a walkover into the third round. So the reason why this has come about, and I say the reason as if like it's something reasonable, but it's not, is I think linked to obviously the umpiring during the match. As very believed apparently there was a ball incorrectly called during the tiebreaker and began yelling at the umpire with the crowd taking the official side. And then the opponents in Glasspool and Heliovara wrapped up the match with an ace on the next point. Zverev hit the chair with his racket 3 times and came close to hitting the umpire's foot. At one point, you could actually see the umpire flinching, his feet, like his legs and feet flinching as Zverev was hitting the umpire's chair, and he continued to yell at the umpire and took another swing as the umpire moved to go down, so to climb down off his chair. Obviously, he was really uncomfortable. The ATP actually defines unsportsmanlike conduct as any misconduct by a player that is clearly abusive or detrimental to the success of a tournament, ATP and or the sport. This is just like another, I guess, they will look into this more. He could get a ban. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a ban for a month or so, or even potentially longer. We'll see. I mean, I'm not 100% sure of similar instances of this happening in the past and then what the repercussions have been, but really, really poor behavior. I mean, he, for the most part, is not, yes, he'll argue with an umpire, but I've never seen that before from him. And I thought that was very, very uncomfortable to watch. I watched it this morning and it's just not on. It's not acceptable behavior. We can't just let it go unpunished. I say we as if I'm the tennis community, but I think tennis as a sport needs to really clamp down on this because they need to show that this is not acceptable whatsoever, and then it will really force players to respect the umpire and also respect the game, right, and the sport. Because to be honest with you, umpires do get a lot of stick from players, and probably more than they should do. There should be penalties in place if the umpires get continually abused where they do. Let's see. I mean, there's a difference between verbal and also then physically hitting the umpire's chair. Now, yes, he didn't hit the umpire. It doesn't matter. It was very close to, and he knew what he was doing. He was trying to, scare the umpire and also intimidate him, and obviously take his frustration out on the chair. And he knew that. I mean, yeah, if he ended up hitting the umpire, I think we would have been talking about a very, very, very long ban, and that would have been even more horrific. But generally, I just think I can't believe it. Genuinely, I still can't believe it after watching a few times. Also, what I found slightly disturbing was the fact that Marcelo Melo, who again, look, he didn't specifically do anything wrong in terms of actions, but what I found a bit worrying was the fact that he sat there and let Zverev do it after the match ended, rather than trying to have a talk with him and say, look, mate, you should probably stop doing this, because he did it a couple of times and then he went back to the chair and did it a couple of times. And in that instance, he could have gone up to Zverev. He could have kind of pulled him away. He could have said to him, look, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. But there's nothing. He just kind of sat down, didn't say a word. Now, I don't know how close Zverev and Melo are, but obviously they have some type of relationship, whether it's working or not, because, or more personal, because, you know, they managed to play doubles and they agreed to play doubles together. It'll be interesting to see whether Melo plays doubles with Zverev again after this as well. But yeah, he's completely screwed his opportunity of now, you know, defending this title. He'll lose ATP points, and rightly so. And we'll see what the consequences are of his actions. But just completely poor on his part. Really disappointing to see, to say the least. And I really hope this is an isolated incident and we don't see this again, because this type of behavior is like, it should not be in the sport. And I really hope we don't see an instance like this anytime soon, because it was disturbing to watch. And, you know, like the umpire looks like scared. He looked really, really scared. And for viewing, it was uncomfortable. So I can only imagine what it was like being in the chair and him flinching, because Zverev wasn't just like tapping the chair. He was literally smashing his racket against the umpire's chair. And then after gave his racket to someone in the crowd, which was just like, it was comical almost, because he just used it to smash up the umpire's chair and then gave the racket away to someone in the crowd as if it balanced it out, which is really, really strange. But either way, look, I think everyone knows my views on Zverev as a player, and generally I think his personality is good for the sport. But this specific event is not good for the sport. So hopefully we never see it again from him, especially. I would imagine we will get, and I hope we do get, a really, really extensive apology from Alexander Zverev, not only to the tournament, but to the umpire specifically, and also to the sport as well. Like, I think he needs to really step up here now and kind of take ownership of it and not make excuses. Don't say anything stupid like, oh, you know, but I thought the decision was out and, you know, I didn't hit him. And it doesn't matter. Like, your actions were just wrong. Simple as that. I don't think there's any gray area here. I think it's black and white. And not many things are, but this is for sure. So, yeah, let's see. Hopefully he apologizes, and hopefully this, as I said, is an isolated incident. And interesting to see how the ATP now progress with this. Of course, he is also still being investigated, if I'm not mistaken, over allegations that he was violent towards a former girlfriend, but he's repeatedly denied the claims. I mean, that's kind of like an ongoing thing as well. So, yeah, definitely not helping his cases. Zverev needs to have a hard, long look at himself after this, after what just happened at Acapulco, for sure. Needs to get that temper under wraps and really make sure that he's not in this type of position again. Right, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, if you are interested in listening to the audio version or like listening to podcasts, we are now on all podcast platforms, and the video version is also available on Spotify or audio as well. It's mainly for the longer videos, anything kind of above the 15-20 minute mark we're putting on there. Let me know what your thoughts about whether you want these shorter videos on there as well. I thought podcast platforms probably are not the best place to put these on here, so maybe just keep them exclusively to YouTube. But let me know your thoughts on that as well. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you on the next video.